Kelly. What can I do for you today?
My teacher sent me down here again, or sent me to you. He usually just sends me to the assistant principal, but he's sending me down here, so maybe I can talk to you about stuff, what's going on. But I mean, he's just so mean, and I feel like he narrows down and picks on me all the time. Like other people act up in class, and yet why am I always being the one kicked out?
And so, okay, so you got kicked out of class and you got sent down here?
Yeah.
This time?
Yeah.
Okay. And is this the only class you're having that trouble in?
No, well, I mean, he's the only one that will actually kick me out of class. But I'm not getting along with one of my other teachers because both of them are failing me. So
They're failing you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your grades in your other classes, you're happy with them?
Yeah, I have an A in art, and I have a B in math, and another B in English. But I mean, history and science are just boring.
Boring to you?
Well, I mean, they make it boring. I feel like it could be fun, but they're just awful.
I gotcha. So I know you said that you were sent down here because the teacher I kicked you out. I mean, is this something though that you think would be helpful meeting with me, and do you want to try to, what is it that you want me to help you with?
I mean,
what can I do for you?
I just feel like I prefer to get switched out of classes, but I know it's too late in the semester to get
Right.
swapped out of their classes, so I have to stay in the class.
Right.
But I just want some like fair treatment from there, and them not to like grade me so harshly. I feel like they expect me to do bad, and they like pick out every little thing that I'm doing wrong, and everyone else is doing just fine. I mean, heck, I have A's and B's in my other classes, and I'm doing a lot better than other people in those classes. And I look at their papers, and I don't see what's wrong with mine or my work.
So a lot of it comes down to the papers that you write in the classes, or is it more than just the papers?
That's papers, class participation, and
Okay, class participation. Let me ask about that. So, are you not participating in the science and history classes, or you are and you feel like you're being graded unfairly for your participation in the class?
I mean, I answer once in a while, but usually, don't usually speak up. I don't really like them, so why would I?
And you don't like them because of how you were graded, or before even any of the grading occurred this year, did you just feel like you just didn't like them, or has that kind of come about as the semester has progressed?
I mean, it's definitely a lot worse than that, like later on in the semester, but in the beginning, I guess they were nice in the beginning, and then it was very hard to get into the material because they're very just bland and boring, and just go over PowerPoints and just kind of lecture about it, and they don't really. I mean, they ask the class through questions for class participation, but there's no nothing fun about the class to keep us really that much engaged.
Okay.
And after our first assignment, after both of the first assignments, we had this a history paper where I was supposed to write about the World War I, and I got a 65 on the paper, and that's the lowest grade I've ever gotten before on any paper I've ever written. And I went up to him and I was like, hey, listen, I don't know what I got wrong, you just kind of made some notes, but I don't understand how I did that poorly on it. I've never done that bad. And he was like, oh, just look at the comments I made and you'll figure it out.
Oh, wow.
He didn't want to work with me at all, and I was like, seriously?
Yeah, that's not helpful.
No, not at all. And then, I mean, not as extreme, that is the history teacher that sent me down here.
Yeah.
But I feel like he just doesn't want to deal with me anymore. But the science class, and we had another project paper, and I did really bad on that one. And he was at least willing to kind of go over with what I was doing wrong, and he was okay, but I still feel like he grades me more harshly than other students, because I'll look at my best friend Sarah's paper, and we pretty much have the same responses, and she gets 10 points better than me. And I just don't see.
Okay. Well, it's good. I mean, it's good that you tried to approach the teachers on your own, and it's unfortunate that it seems to have been unsuccessful. At least the time you tried, especially with the history teacher. So, I mean, is there another way? What is another way you could look at this problem? I mean, you try looking at it in any other way.
I mean, the only other way would be like that I'm not working hard enough, but I feel like maybe not now as much as I was in the beginning, but I feel like in the beginning I was trying really hard and I didn't get anything out of it, so what's the point of trying anymore?
You were feeling discouraged?
Yeah.
Well, you're feeling discouraged right now. Is that accurate?
I'm feeling really discouraged, so I'm seeing what's the point anymore in these classes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if I saw some sort of point, started working harder, maybe it could change. Maybe I can do something a little bit different, but I don't know. I tried.
Right. So you told me a little bit about some measures that you've already taken to resolve the issue. Are there any other measures that you've taken to try to resolve this issue of? Now, I mean, are you? Let's put it this way: are you more concerned right now with fixing your relationships with your teacher, or bringing the grades up, or do you think one has to occur before the other can occur?
Well, I really want good grades.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the semester's almost over. I feel like it's gonna be so hard to bring up my grades at this point, but I don't think I'll be able to even do any of that. Like, I can't bring up my grades if my teachers don't respect or talk to me or anything. So I feel like they are interconnected, like you said. They're gonna have to,
Okay.
the relationship with them, it's gonna have to get better before they'll let my grades get better.
Right. Well, can you tell me about a time when this problem was less severe or even non-existent at all?
Well, history teacher, I don't know, but at least with my science teacher, I guess it's not as bad as with him. And with my science teacher, he'll take time if I set up a time with him to like come after class or after school to sit down with him. He'll talk with me a little bit, and that helps with it. And I feel like I see a little bit of my grade improving in his class, and I would like to be able to do it with him, the history teacher, but I don't know how to do that. I mean, I tried to go and talk to him during class, and he just kind of it's like, go to your seat or get out of here, go to the office.
Okay, well, with the science teacher, what do you feel is different about about those times when you didn't feel like he was grading you more harshly, or maybe just he was just looking down upon you? What do you feel is different about those times?
I guess maybe when I approached him the first time, I was kind of like, hey, I don't know what I did wrong. Please explain it. I know you left some notes. And maybe with my history teacher, I went too aggressively towards him, and like kind of just in the middle of the class, raised my hand and was like, hey, like, because you pass them out, and I automatically wanted an answer, like, hey, like this isn't like anything. So
let me see if I have this right. With the science teacher, you ended up setting up time with him, and you spoke to him more one-on-one,
right.
and you seem to have some success with that. Whereas with the history teacher, you approached him, you were upset about it naturally, and you raised your hand and tried to ask him about it. And he kind of like blew you off and said, just read the comments. Kind of went from there. Okay.
Well, I guess I did kind of raise my hand in science class, but he said, come see me after class. The other
okay.
one.
Okay. So, and that seemed to go well, right?
Right.
All right. So, if a miracle took place, I'm just going to play this whole miracle game here, right? If a miracle took place and your problem was solved, how would your life be different? What would be happening?
getting all A's.
Okay.
All A's, and I'd be on the right track for graduation, and I wouldn't be in Mr. Davidson's class. But I know that wasn't in a perfect world because that cannot change, but in a perfect world it would. But I guess since that wouldn't be able to happen, at least have an A in his class and him not sending me out every day. I mean, like I said, with the class participation, how am I even supposed to get class participation if I'm not in the classroom physically? And
This is true. Let's back up for a minute, and I apologize. Maybe I missed this. What exactly were you sent out of the classroom for again? This time? Let's go with this time. What were you sent out for this time?
because we get our graded science back, and I raise my hand and ask him, hey, can you clarify this? And he just, at this point, I just don't think he ever wants to answer me. Or, and then I keep like interrupting and asking questions. But he's trying to move the classroom forward, but I feel like he doesn't let me finish and ask what I need to, but he wants to move the classroom forward. And he ignores me, and then I keep trying to interrupt. I guess that's on me, but
Okay.
he'll just send me out. Because it's like, I need to move
All
this
right.
classroom forward. So you
All right,
gotta
so a
go.
lot of times he's sending you out because he feels, or at least you're perceiving it, he feels like you're interrupting and he can't get things going, and so he's like, Kelly, you're out of the class. Go out of the class.
Right.
So, based on the ideal scenario you just described, it seems that your goal would be to raise those grades. And are we in agreement that maybe in order to do that, there has to be some improvement with these relationships that you have with your history teacher for sure, and then also with the science teacher, which seems like you're making some ground there
Right.
with meeting with him more one-on-one, right?
Right.
So that's good. You know, that's a really good thing. So right now, and I'm going to focus. Is it okay if we focus more on the history of Mr. Davidson right now?
Yeah, I mean, my science teacher, I feel like I know how to, like, I mean, I want my grades, and I want the A in the class, and I'm at a D now, but I feel like personally, on a personal level, we're okay.
Okay,
But
well that's good.
Mr. Davidson, yes, I need to do something with him.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like really upset with Mr. Davidson, and 10 being like he's your best bud, where do you feel like you're out on that scale with him?
I guess not a 1 because I don't want to like wring his throat or anything.
Okay, that's good.
But I mean, like a 3.
3. Okay. And has this always been a problem in the class? I know you said earlier it wasn't so bad at the beginning of the year, right?
Right.
And then it kind of progressively got worse as paper returned back to you, and
Yeah, once we started getting our assignments back, and he started not responding, it's definitely gotten a lot worse. And after that first experience with him, it's definitely.
so that's what's changed. What's changed is that you got some assignments back, you started to have some different experiences with him, and they haven't been positive, and so from that, it's kind of snowballed from there. Is that right? Okay. So, what do you think is working with your science teacher that you may be able to try and use with Mr. Davidson?
I guess possibly maybe I could try to go to either see him before or after class and be like, I know we're on like bad footing right now, but can we at least set some time aside where we can talk about my grade or my assignments so I know what I can improve on, see if there's any extra credit I could do to raise that grade or something to help me out. But just maybe see him after class like I do.
Right. I think that would be beneficial. Let's just pretend for a minute that you go and you see him and you still feel like you're not making any ground, that you're not gaining anything. It's not improving at all, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I know from if you're at a 3, it's pretty severe. You know that you guys are not getting along, you know, as you see it. So, how do you think you're going to feel? Like, when you go in there, it doesn't go well. How do you think you're going to feel coming out of that, and what might we? I want to get a couple things implemented, you know, in case that happens. Where do you think you could go from there? Because ultimately, you want to raise your grade, and even if he is being difficult, you still could try hard to raise a grade.
I mean, I guess if I go talk to him and he's unwilling to talk to me or help me out or anything, then I mean, I could.
I don't think that's going to
parent,
happen. But.
Or ask my parents to talk to him, or
right.
have you talk to him, or have.
Well, that's what I was thinking, and I was trying to see if you would be comfortable with that. I mean, if that it comes down to it, you know, I'm here for you. I want you to feel comfortable and be successful, and that's what I'm here for. And so if we need to, you know, call. Obviously, I probably would, you know, maybe speak with him, you know, beforehand. But maybe we could all sit together and just come up with a game plan. I mean, because, yeah, you know, he's a pretty good guy, and I think that there might just be some misunderstandings. Sometimes that happens, but I think that definitely meeting with him before, after school, and more one-on-one is going to benefit you. Relationship-wise, improving the relationship. But what, again, ultimately you want to raise the grade. So what other interventions do you think that we can put into place to help you raise the grade? Some things that maybe you're not doing right now that you could be doing.
Well, I guess I could not, when I get a grade back, I could not raise my hand and try to like get questioned right away so that I don't get kicked out. And by not getting kicked out, I'll be there for the class participation and attendance points, so that in itself will help out.
Absolutely, yeah. That's good. Okay. And I mean, how much? These are some things that I'm thinking about as we're sitting here talking about. How much time? Okay, you have good grades in your other classes. What are things that you're doing in those classes to be successful? Like not looking at relationship with the teacher. Okay, just based on you and some things that you're doing. What are some things you're doing in those classes that maybe you can implement into this class, both the history and the science class, that might help you raise your grade?
I mean, it's kind of. I guess I work in groups when I do like any of, well, not my art because that's like my passion, but with math class and English and stuff, I usually will work like with a few friends on our homework, just like spitting back like ideas and stuff, and
right.
I'll usually have my parents proofread my papers and let me know if I have any grammatical errors or something. Have them do that.
That's good. Yeah, absolutely. So were you not, like in the history class, were you not doing that on the papers that you were turning in? Were you not really doing any of those things, or?
I guess not, because I mean, with language arts, obviously a lot of that is your grammar.
Sure.
So I want that to be checked, but in the past I've never seen like history teachers be like really hard on any grammar errors.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll have them do that too.
Yeah, because I mean that is definitely something that they begin to look at, because you know you're going to be going into high school next year, and the teachers there, you know, things start to get progressively more difficult as they go on. So he could be trying to help prepare you for that. It's just that I think when you guys get together one-on-one, maybe he'll be able to explain that to you a little bit more, and plus then you'll maybe be able to talk about some expectations he has, and then be on the same page, which will definitely help as well. But I think bouncing things off of each other, having people proofread, and just talking about some different things would be great. Now you talked about papers, but I'm wondering, what about the tests in those classes? How do you do with that?
Tests, since most of my tests are multiple choice, I actually do really well on those.
You do well on those. So the papers are what's really dragging you down. And in history participation. So those are dragging those grades down. Okay. Well, that's good. It sounds like you prepare yourself for the test. So it's not like you don't know the content, because if you're doing well on the test, you must know the content. It's just a matter of piecing some things together for the papers. Is that right? You're correct. All right. So just with what we've talked about,